Welcome, Red Zone in the Lab podcast. I'm Deuce. Today we on the road. Deuce is on the road, and we are taking the lab on the road. Today we have Nine in the Fan host and freelancer Michael Phillips joining us today. We're going to talk about this new Commanders regime. We're also continuing our free agency run with friends. So we have some hosts join us today that's never hosted before. They joining us. We have Raiders fan that's going to join and talk to us about Paris and a few other things. So I'm excited to get into this. So join us as we take this ride. On the other side of this, we'll have Michael Phillips.
Shout out Red Zone and Lab Podcast.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's Benjamin St. Jude, DB for the Washington Commanders. I want to give a big shout out to Red Zone and the Lab Podcast.
Before we get started with the podcast.
Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Yo, doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I got you loud and clear.
This is good, man. We're taking this on the road with us today, but how you been, man? This off season has been all about football. Is this a little different for you?
You know, doing the radio show every day and getting the opportunity to share my takes a little bit more. You know, you can do that in the podcast world more so than in writing. So getting a chance to weigh in and you know, I love all the other sports too, but I've always got a soft spot for football, and it's been a newsy off season. What are we up to 12, 13 now? It's hard to keep track anymore. I don't know. Are we not contact hurts? I don't know. It's a lot of people. They're turning over the whole roster, and certainly going to take a long time to really see just you know, what this new group looks like.
And that's something like we've talked to. You know, you get the players' perspective, the fans' perspective, people outside the fan base perspective. But you guys covering the team, how's past years been compared to the last couple months?
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy, obviously, right? This is as busy as it's been, and you know, since Ron started, and since Ron turned the whole place over when he started, and that's part of a new coach, and that's part of going 4-13, right? You know, I'll say this: I like Cam Curl. If it were up to me, I'd keep Cam Curl around. I understand they're 4-13 last year. When you're 4-13, you got to get everybody on out of there. You got to start all over, and it's hard to blame anybody or say they shouldn't make any moves. I'll keep coming back to it. 4 wins last year. You know, and if they want totally new faces in the building, it's understandable because of the 4 wins.
Yeah, you can't really, like, a lot of what we had, I think, outside of Mason Brooks and Kajir Allen and a couple other guys, and now All-Pro Revo, there hasn't been a lot of retaining some of the roster that was already here. And, you know, a lot of players have gone on. I mean, what does that say to our roster, you know, outside looking in with all of these guys with all of this experience coming into this roster saying, hey, look, this roster is not good. We need to get the majority of new players.
Man, they went ahead and got a new kicker. That's how you know. Like, they straight up went and got a new kicker during free agency. Like, that's how you know they want everybody out of here. I'm not ruling out a Jonathan Allen trade. I'm not ruling out that he'll stay either. I think Dan Quinn will turn on the tape and really like what he sees and see a chance to have a guy who can have a big impact defensively. So, you know, certainly there's a case to be made for keeping him around. I think ultimately he'll want to hang around too. But everything that's not bolted down, they'll accept an offer on it for sure. You know, I'm sure we'll get to the quarterbacks later. I don't think they'll get a good offer on Sam Howell, but I don't think they'd be afraid to deal him if they did. The other thing was the owners survey, the Players Association survey that they did, where Ron was ranked third to last among league coaches. I think the one positive everybody saw in Ron was he's a culture guy, and he's gonna, the players are gonna love him. So, and some of that was, some of that was the losing, obviously. But when you see something like that, and you see guys souring on Ron's culture, well, it's definitely time for a change.
Most definitely, and it was a big fuss about the culture and changing the culture in the building, and what's the difference changing the culture outside of the building. But anytime you have free agents saying that they're choosing to come here when they have better offers other places, that speaks volumes to the instant culture change. Would you say?
I look at Cleveland Farrell, right? A guy who
Yeah.
deliberately went to San Francisco for the culture there, and now is following Adam Peters to try to start something new here. On the whole, I think it was a lot of low risk, high upside signings. A lot of these guys aren't going to work out. A lot of these guys are career NFL backups. So you look at a guy like Allegretti, right? He's a career backup. Armstrong didn't play more than half the snaps in Dallas. So a lot of even the big names on this list are guys who never got a starting chance elsewhere. And Washington can give them that because, hey, they got nothing to lose. It's a different ballgame in the NFL. You can do good with 30 snaps. If they give you 60 snaps, they're going to start scouting you more and they'll be in teams' film rooms more. And they're going to come around on your tendencies. So there's a lot still to be seen. That's not to throw cold water on any of this. I do like a lot of the signings conceptually. It's just to say that, there's a lot at play here, a lot of moving parts, and a lot of guys, they were able to sell them on, come be a part of the rebuild, will give you a chance to play ball way more than other teams would. And I think a lot of guys like hearing that.
So what was your feeling coming into this free agency legal, right? Tampering period, having $90 million, and listening to Adam Peters and even the owner Josh Harris talks about how they're going to build this team. What was your feeling of them coming into free agency? Do you think big spending, small spendings, or exactly what they've done?
I thought they would take one or two big swings, which they have not done yet. Won't rule it out. Obviously, some guys are still on the market. Some guys are going to come on the market. I thought they'd take a big swing or two. The Eagles ended up taking those big swings. So that was kind of a statement in of itself, watching the Eagles, go after some of the big names. I'm fascinated to watch that team next year. They're clearly still pushing their chips in towards a Super Bowl in the very near future. But I expected some bigger signings. But at the same time, I think if you listen to Adam Peters, it's probably not a surprise what they did. They've been very active players in the middle of the market, that kind of, upper middle class there of guys who are going to make $6 to $10 million a year. I don't think anybody's outplayed them in that space of the market this year, and I think they're very comfortable doing their work there.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Out of these, 13 signings we've had, what's your favorite one, and what's a head scratcher?
Well, I favorite's so hard because I know Cleveland Farrell. He's a Richmond guy, so I like him. I don't think he's going to be like an all-time impactful guy. I'm penciling him in for 3 sacks next year, and a good older player. Armstrong the same, right? I think you got a couple of guys who are going to get a few sacks, make an impact. If there's one, I don't know that he's my favorite player, the Frankie Louvu. I just love that they're signing a linebacker, man. We forgot about linebacker for 4 years. It's still a position out there. You can still have one, apparently. That's exciting. They got a true middle linebacker who's going to be able to play that position. Right? One of the things about Ron Rivera was dude coaches up linebackers, right? He's a linebackers guy. He's coached Luke Kuechly. He's coached Thomas Davis. He knows linebackers. And he totally whiffed with Jamin Davis, right? But he just kind of ignored the position after that and just stopped having linebackers. So I don't know. Call me old school. I kind of like that they have a linebacker again in Frankie Louvu. Okay, hard to go wrong there. Certainly, if you look at Jeremy Chin, I think that's probably my favorite guy from a what he's going to bring on the field perspective. And I mentioned Cam Curl at the start. I would have been fine with having Cam Curl back. You got another really talented guy, though, and I think that was important. I do think the safety position is really important. I think they got talent there.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the talk of the fan base is Cam Curl. And if we bring him back, okay. If we don't, okay. I think it's kind of the same. I don't think it's like a big cut in the fan base. But Curtis Samuel and Kendall Fuller, what are your thoughts on those two guys? Do you think they're going to have a market which takes them away from here, or somebody that Dan Quinn and Witt would want to bring back?
I'd love to see Kendall Fuller in particular come back. I really like what he brings to the table. I think in the right role, he's a really good player, and I think you don't make a scene in the locker room, right? Like some guys are really good locker room guys because they're leaders and they're vocal and people follow them. And some guys are good locker room guys because they shut up and go about their business. Like, right? Like you need both. You can't have 53 vocal leaders in a room. And Kendall Fuller's a dude who doesn't talk the talk. Just walks around hitting dudes on Sunday. I think performs very well for the kind of player he is. That said, I don't blame him at all for going out chasing that cash. If it materializes, go get it. You got a short career. If it doesn't, hopefully there's an offer for him in DC. But I'll refer back to my initial statement. 4-13. Anybody who they don't bring back, you got to be okay with because you're turning some tables over here as you come in. You're really refreshing this. The one thing I would say is, I mean, look, left tackle is still looming out there, right? I get cutting Charles Leno. You're not going to hear me say they shouldn't have cut Charles Leno. All I'm saying is, ain't nobody out there. Ain't nobody out there who's going to play 16 games for you. You're going to need to take a swing Friday, pick 36, pick 40. You're going to need to hit one right out of the gate there. Maybe even bundle those picks, trade back into Thursday night, go get one. That's crucial to me at this point, I think.
Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of noise about Tyron Smith. I don't really like that. If a cheap deal possibly, but just like you say, he's not going to give you 16, 17 games. And another guy's John Jones in the Texans. But, he's not a starter. Do you see where we don't sign any tackles in free agency and we may go, just like you said, we might go 2 tackles or 1 tackles early in the draft?
Yeah, it's a dangerous game, right? Yeah, they might. And if they do, that's a statement, right, that they're building for the long term here, which they are. They made a lot of statements about building for the long term and doing this the right way and all that. So, if they do, I'm not wild about it, but I also understand this is in Adam Peters' eyes. This is not a 1-year fix. I think the signings we're seeing really confirm that these aren't. Let's go get a ring signings. These are. Let's see if any of these guys turn into players signings.
Yeah, maybe even be able to keep some of this cap this year, move it to next year, and if you find some guys out of this 12, you find 4 or 5 of them that can actually work out, re-sign them and bring some other guys in next year. But what about the Mariota signing? What's your feel? A lot of people saying that mean we getting Jaden Daniels, but we'll talk about that later. But how did you feel about the Mariota signing?
I don't think it's necessarily the hand tip some people bring it up to be. I think it's more about guys who have experience in this offense and can jump in to this offense without needing a lot of coaching. He's a perfectly fine mid-tier backup quarterback signing. If you're picking your backup around your starter, I think you're a lot further down the road than these guys are. I think he's there because he knows what Cliff Kingsbury's saying. He can translate in the room easily. He's not going to create a scene or create a quarterback controversy or anything like that. So those are the reasons I like him. I would keep Sam Howell as QB3. Look, I know, I read the blogs. Oh, they're going to get a 3rd-round pick. Oh, they trade for a 3rd-round pick. You get a 3rd-round pick, make the deal. Of course they're going to make the deal. You're not getting a 3rd-round pick for Sam Howell.
I don't think so either. I think it was like the Jets, but the Jets is doing pretty much I don't know. So who knows with the Jets? Just to kind of switch gears back to the coaching staff, there's a lot of experience with this coaching staff, and a lot of people have done each other's jobs down through their time in the NFL. A lot of players. How do you feel about all of this experience? You think it's a good? You think it's bad? Or you think it just depends on winning?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Yeah, the coaching staff, the experience that they have. Do you think it's a good thing, or it can end up, butting heads down the line?
It could be either, right? That's the fun of this. We'll see how this goes. At the same time, I think Dan Quinn is probably the right guy to lead an experienced staff, right? He's a guy who has seen a lot of different styles and can manage people really well. So I don't worry about it becoming a huge issue. I'm very much, I said on my show, I've said several times, I'm not wild about Cliff Kingsbury. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I like the rest of the staff just fine, but it starts at the top, and until proven otherwise, I don't think you can view him as a superstar NFL coach or a guy who's got all the answers for an offense. So, part of my skepticism starts at the very top. I love bringing in an Anthony Lynn, love bringing in some of these other guys who have great NFL experience. Raheem Morris was here for a long time after his first stint. You never heard Raheem Morris trying to tell everybody what to do. Like, once you've been a head coach, you're particularly sensitive to how hard it is to be a head coach.
And Dan is going to have to.
Think I'm losing you, Deuce.
Sorry about that.
I think I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Right. I'll just give a Sonny Dance number here. What's the time?
The quarterback situation. I mean, where are you? Are you, trade down, build around Sam, trade up Caleb, sit where you are? We are with the quarterbacks.
I want to turn in the card. I want to get a quarterback. Look, if a reasonable deal's there, go ahead and go up to one if you love Caleb, but I don't think a reasonable deal's going to get there. So I don't know that it's worth spending a lot of time on that scenario because, if the Bears like him, you're going to need to give so much up to get him. It's not worth it at that point. You got too many holes on the roster. Look, you're at number 2. If things go well, you're not going to be at number 2 again for a very, very long time. Turn in the card, get a quarterback, try to make it work. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I'm not mad about the trade down crowd, and certainly wouldn't be mad if they traded down. But you don't get to be number 2 every year. And Adam Peters is never going to get to be number 2 pick again, because if he's a number 2 pick again, he's going to be looking for a new job in a few years.
Right.
Give it a try. These guys are good. Get a quarterback, see if you can make it work. I'm a Jaden Daniels guy. I love Drake May too. Anybody who's only goes to bat for one of them is just trying to make a scene. I'm a Jaden Daniels guy.
Yeah, me too. I definitely would love to have Jaden Daniels, but I don't know what's going to happen with Chicago. I don't know what they're going to do, Michael. But there's something we'll definitely see. Looking forward, to the rest of free agency. I know you kind of mentioned a tackle, but as far as the draft, we don't make any more big signings. What is what do you believe their approach is going to be in the draft? Outside of quarterback, of course.
Yeah, so quarterback at 2, I think you're probably looking at, an offensive lineman, with first pick on Friday. Probably, obviously the board's going to dictate. Edge rusher, tight end. I could see them going tight end. Eugene Shen's very much on the record as being an advocate for the value of having a good tight end. Things you can do to make a quarterback's life easier, or go on defense, try to start building that up. You're freed up there after you make those first couple picks. But 2 things you're going to get. If you pick a number 2, you're getting a quarterback, and then first picks of Friday, one of them is going to be an offensive lineman. I think we can feel pretty safe about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Let's just switch gears a little bit. We passed a little hurdle to get back to RFK. How confident are you that it'll pass? I believe it still has to go through the Senate and then the president's desk. How confident do you think that's going to happen?
Well, you never be fully confident in politics. Crazy things happen there. They don't get a lot done. But when they do, I think this is something that has support. I think if it can get through, it will get through and it will be passed. It's just about getting it to that vote because that is never a certainty. But I think everybody wants him at RFK. I think the stars are aligning for RFK. I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. So, I mean, if everything goes well and it passes, of course, DC is going to be in the mix. Maryland, Virginia. I know we've talked extensively about where the stadium will go, but what's kind of your 1, 2, 3 as far as who may get the stadium?
Yeah, right now you got to view DC as the number one as RFK gets moving along. I think that's a great opportunity for everybody involved. I'd probably still put Virginia at number 2. I just think at the end of the day, they'll throw the cash around to make it happen if it's about the cash. Maryland at number 3. I think Maryland, just did a lot with the Orioles and the Ravens. Certainly the money's on the table for the FedEx site, but it's not as much as Maryland would offer. And, sorry to our Maryland listeners. It's not a good site. It's just not a good site. Sorry. It's not a good site for a football stadium, Maryland or not.
Yeah, it'll be something, RFK or somewhere around there, but it's kind of small. And before I let you go, the Armory, have you heard any, like in the past about, the DC Armory being willing to move? Because I don't think they'll be willing to move, but have you heard anything or even, anything came across you down through the years about the Armory?
Yeah, my understanding is there's enough room at RFK to make it happen, right? And so part of that, cover your ears if you're a tailgating guy. Part of that is you're not going to have as much tailgating space.
Oh,
right?
No.
They're going to build parking garages. It's going to be a dome stadium. Get over that now too. They're going to consolidate the parking to create the extra space for the retail and everything else they want to do. So, that's how they're going to make that happen. I don't love it either. Outdoor football for life for me, but I don't have the money to talk.
Thank you so much for joining today, Michael. So just let us know, like, are you on every day?
10 to noon on 910 The Fan in Richmond. We do the show. It's a good time. It's good fun. We'll be at the ACC tournament all week doing basketball bits. So that's been a ton of fun.
March Madness.
You can listen to it. I've always said there aren't enough podcasts in the world, so we turn the show into a podcast just to give people, something to listen to while they're out and about. It's been good fun. No writing at the moment, but there will be writing on the horizon, so stay tuned.
Yep. Thank you so much for joining, Mike. We appreciate it, buddy.
All right, take care, dude.
All right, take care. Wow, that was something. A couple things that I got out of this talking to Michael is Eugene Shin, which he was hired to be our analytics guy. I think he runs the business and the football side, but we know he was with the Ravens for a long time. The Ravens always kept tight ends. And I believe when he went to Miami, they brought in or drafted Gesicki, I believe, when he was down there. So, yeah, that makes sense. He is very high on tight end. So that's definitely something to consider in the draft because Shen believes that a tight end really helps out a young quarterback and a quarterback in general. So that's going to be something to watch, the tight end search and how much Shen is actually going to be involved. Because remember, he was here before Peters. So you kind of take what you want with that. And he was definitely in on trading away Montez Sweat and Chase Young. But until my host guys get in here, Mark is here a little early. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Mark Tyler. And we're going to talk some more ball. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man?
Good, D. What's up?
Good, man. Good, man. Like you're not a special guest anymore. You're like a regular now. I mean, on the pod and spaces. I don't know if we call you special anymore, Mark.
I'm hurting, D. That hurts.
Oh man, Mark is always showing love. Mark was one of my first guests when I started podding a couple years ago. So he's definitely always a friend of the pod. But man. Yeah, most definitely. How you feeling about free agency so far?
I tell you what, it was refreshing to see the moves that Peters made. Obviously Quinn's in there, hyping for his guys. But for us to not go out there and overspend and have to overpay to get the right people in here, it's refreshing. And I think yesterday, you and I may even been hopping back and forth on Twitter a little bit about it. Jeremy Chin had other options, and he chose to come here. And that's something we haven't heard for a while.
Yeah.
On a one-year deal.
That's true. That's true. I'm trying to see if I can change something real quick. Give me a second.
You're crashing anything, D. You be careful driving.
Yes, sir. Can you see it?
I can see your dashboard right now. Yeah, you can see the traffic in front of you.
Y'all see that beauty right
Oh,
there?
there we go. There we go.
All the listeners, there's beauty.
That is beautiful. I love it.
Beauty. It don't look like it now though, but it looks horrible. I don't know the last time some of you guys saw it, but
I haven't seen
some
that
great memories
stadium.
there.
It's been years, man, years. So,
Yeah, but no. To your point, Mark, you're absolutely right. Um, let me get this camera straight. Um, and not only him, a lot of players decided that they would rather come here, and that's something that we're not used to at all, right?
yeah, I mean, I think Biotish had some other offers out there on the table. I want to say that I think Armstrong, they said, had a couple different offers. So, yeah, having guys want to come here, it means a lot. It means that we have a good structure in place and guys that people want to play for. So I think that was amazing. Keeping that up, hopefully we can go into this second phase of free agency and nail a couple more guys that we need to fill out this roster before we get to the draft.
So far, what's your favorite signing and one head scratcher?
I mean, I don't really think that we saw a head scratcher. I think that Algaretti was one that maybe shocked a lot of us because we didn't know that name. I didn't know that name. I wasn't familiar with his game that much. So when we signed him, I had to go back and look him up. But I don't think it was a bad signing. I kind of look at it as the Wes Schweiger of this type of draft class. I think my most excited signing was Luvu from Carolina. I think he is, he's the type of linebacker that we need here. He's the type of guy that he loves the blitz. He does a very good job on cross dog, green dog blitzes. I think he's an aggressive guy. He brings a lot of passion to the game. He seems to love the game of football, and that's what we need. We need those guys that are football players first, and he checks off every box for me. I didn't think he was leaving Carolina, so he wasn't on my wish list of players. I just didn't think they were going to let him go. Everything I read said they were going to try to retain him, and he had mutual interest in staying there. So I don't know what happened, what fell through, but I was pleasantly surprised when I saw his name come across the board.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my little list I put out there. I had my top 5 and then 12 others, but he was definitely on that list. But it was a long shot. It was a wish list. I didn't think he would come here either. But let's talk about him and Jamin a little bit and some of Dan Quinn's comments about, putting guys in the proper spaces, for them to maximize their value and to use their speed. I'm not too sold that he's going to be Mike Lambert. I think he can do it for sure. But if we can, I was thinking Bobby Wagner just for the sake of the conversation. But how do you feel about him, Louisville and Jamin being able to be interchangeable, moving along that defense of backfield? Was that a rabbit roll of some sort?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that we need to necessarily pigeonhole any of these guys right yet until we see what we do in free agency and the draft. I think that's going to be more telling. I mean, what if we go out and we get a kid like Junior Colston, who's one of my favorites out of Michigan? He's a smart guy. He can call the defense. That would be what I would love to see, to be able to free these guys up to be able to play positionless football. Can he call the defense? Yeah, I think he can do a good job. He did it last year when he came in for I think it was the last 6 games he called the defense. And it was out of injury, but they said he did a really good job communicating with guys and getting guys in the right place. But I'd like to see a guy that is a true Mike come in here. And Bobby Wagner is a great name, but everything I've heard so far about Bobby is he wants to stay on the West Coast and he wants to play for a contender. So we got 2 strikes against us right there, unless he changes.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
I mean, that's unfortunate, but there's some good names out there. I'm still on the Devin White train. If we can bring him in there on a 1-year prove-it deal, let's see if he's changed his mindset. Let's see if he can call the defense. So Tampa had interchangeable mics when he was there, and they both made calls. So he can set the defense up. He's athletic. He's young. Bring him in on a 1-year prove-it deal. Let's see what he can do. Give him that incentive-based contract. Give him that 1-year, $5 million contract that can rise up to like 8 if he hits certain incentives. Make him play for his money. I like that type of deal. I like that type of contract for him.
Yeah, and I think they re-signed Levante David either today or late yesterday. So that's going to be interesting to see what he does and where he wants to go. But what about the tackle? Like we talk about the tackle position a lot. I like John Jones from the Texans.
Sure.
Not necessarily a starter, but someone that can come and compete, that can play right tackle. Because I don't want Wiley anywhere near any tackle. I only want him in tackle meetings anymore. So but let's say we don't, or let's start here. Are there any tackles that's left out there that you like? And we're gonna bring up the host, and he's gonna have some good conversation. But yeah, are there any tackles up there that you like?
I definitely like Josh Jones. I think he would fit in nicely. He's a developmental type of guy that can maybe be that guy that goes out there and does it now. He has an opportunity to go to a starting team, and I think that would be an amazing signing by us. He's 27, so he's still in his prime. I still feel that Becton has some upside. I know a lot of people are down on Mekhi Becton, but I think that he played 16 games last year, so he did play a little bit through injury, but he played 16 games. He did give up some sacks and pressures, but I think if you brought him in on a 1-year prove-it deal and see if his head's right, he can compete. And worst case scenario, he can be a swing guy for you if you need him to be. But I don't think he would cost an arm and a leg. But I keep going back to Tyron Smith. I think he's the guy that if we can say, hey, listen, we'll give you a 3-year deal. We'll give you north of $15 million. We have it to do. We can spread that signing bonus, put 2 void years in there, whatever you need to do, make his cap hit very, very, attractive looking for the team. I think he's the guy that's going to come in here. He's going to follow Quinn over here. I think we had him identified early on. So I'd be surprised if we're not in negotiations with him right now, trying to make him a commander.
Yeah. Are you concerned about his injuries at all these last couple years? And I've heard that they have to get some type of shot or something every game. Does that concern you at all with Tyron? And do you think if they do make that, does that push the tackle need down the list a little bit?
So to answer your first question, 100%, it's a concern. If we can get 14 games out of him, I would be absolutely thrilled. So 14 games at a very high level, I would love it. Does it push tackle down the board as a need? Absolutely not. I think if we were to sign him, we go out, we draft a kid there's a couple guys in this draft. Guyton, if we ended up moving back into the end of round 1, say with Arizona because they have an extra pick, and we could steal a guy like Guyton, start him off on the right side, and let him move over to the left side in good time. I think that would be an amazing pick. But then you got guys like the BYU kid, Suamadia, and then you got a kid like Jordan Morgan. So I think both of those guys have versatility to play on either side. So I would love to be able to grab one of those guys with that 36th pick. And then I'm diving right back in at pick 40, and I'm going wide receiver. And I'm getting me a big body kid that can body up defenders. And, Leggett's my guy right now. So I would take Leggett at 40. Just saying.
I like it. What's up, South and Smoke? They're going to be with us. They're going to be with me for the duration of the off season every Wednesday, helping me host. And our special host guest today, Saint AJ. What's good? How y'all feeling today, man?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
We can.
Yep.
Yeah,
cheers,
man.
gentlemen.
Enjoying
Cheers.
the rest of you guys to chop it up about some Commander free agency news.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We on the road today. The lab was on the road. We mobile. You know what I'm saying? Just saw RFK. For those of you that didn't see RFK, you can either rewind about 5 minutes, see RFK. It looks horrible. It looks horrible. But hey, we got a lot of memories there. But yeah, man, just throw some questions, man. We'll start with South.
Do you think? I don't know if y'all talked about this already because I was driving too.
Whatever
Do you
we
think?
talk about, we've been talking about for 2 months.
Oh, all right. Do you think Chin is an upgrade over Curl? Because some people think it is, some people think it's not.
Good one.
Good question.
I think it's unfair to compare the two. They were asked to do two different roles, but then the defensive schemes, whether it be in Washington and Carolina, even Chin played some cornerback this year. So he's pretty much like a versatile player overall. So he never really stuck. He never stayed at one particular spot. We've seen him line up at linebacker, buffalo nickel, free safety, strong safety, cornerback, nickel corner. Like he's been all over the field. So I don't think you can necessarily compare the two. I think that Washington probably still will be in the marketplace for another safety. Also, I think that's something that can play out throughout the draft. I think what they've done so far is they've added some guys to position groups so that when they do get to the draft, they're not necessarily having to force themselves to grab players for need.
I like him personally. I think he is super versatile guy. He can I think he had his most snaps in his rookie year playing as a weak side linebacker hybrid. And that was the year he finished second to Chase Young in Rookie of the Year voting. So he made plays. He had a couple interceptions. He had some forced fumbles. I think he's got better athleticism than Cam Curl. But, being an athlete is not everything in football. But he's shown that he has the ability to handle these different positions, much like we saw with Curl. So I love the smarts, the football mentality that he brings to the team. He seems like a guy that just wants to run you over every play. He's going to come and he's going to bring the wood. And you can line him up anywhere. We can line him back at safety. You want to play him as a robber. You can bring him down in the box and let him rob from that position. So I think we'll be able to disguise a lot of different coverages with him. So I think him and Cam are very similar players. He's just a bigger, faster, more athletic version of Curl.
Would you compare him more to Kyle Hamilton?
Not necessarily. I would compare him more to Kyle Duggar. I think when it talks about size and ability to hit people and knock people backwards when you bring the wood, that's the type of hitter he is. I just like to see a little bit more playmaking from him, but sometimes it's all about being in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to go back off of Mark, I wouldn't compare him to Kyle Hamilton at all. He definitely has the athleticism and the size. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, 4'4". I would say, if anything, if we're going to relate it back to the Cowboys' defense and how they maneuver with moving guys around, I would say he's probably more so like a Marquise Bell, how they use him as a linebacker. He was a safety coming out of Florida A&M. It's just one of those interchangeable pieces, as you can see with some of the additions that they made on the defensive side, whether it be Dorrance Armstrong, Luvu. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I need to start adjusting to it. Luvu, adding Chin, or whatever. Those are guys that you can essentially line up different places, whether it be on the D line at D tackle, DN. Luvu can play middle linebacker. He can be a third down rush specialist. He can be outside. He can be a weak side linebacker. Chin, you could put him anywhere, and I think that's really what they want to do, is have interchangeable pieces. Not necessarily like how Ron and company wanted flex players, but these are guys that have shown already in the league that they
trigger.
The trigger word is Ron.
The trigger.
My bad. You know that's the last person I want to talk about. But sometimes when we hear guys having that flexibility, people do get triggered, like you said. But the reality is that's what's going on in the NFL, and that's a heavy role to play within what Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn will be doing on the defensive side of the ball.
For sure. So, Smoke, like a little later, we're going to look at last year's signings on take one and take two compared to this year's. But the Louisville, right? And I know Mark, we was kind of talking about that, which I agree. Like with Mark not pigeonholing anyone yet, because I still want to see what's left. Like I still want to see how they build this thing out before we start. Like, because Quinn loves positionless football, right? So we can't pigeonhole these players. I mean, these guys might be all over the field. Smoke. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. I can hear you.
What's up, fam? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's
Oh
a
yeah,
little
there you
choppy
go.
on
Yeah,
my
we
end.
can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
All right.
go.
Okay. Yeah. I love the Louisville. But my question is, do you think that we'll add something to the receiver room like now or via free agency? Like, what do you guys think on that?
It's a good question. I mean, we were talking about that back and forth on Twitter today when Mike Williams got released, and I'm not a Mike Williams fan right now. At 30 years old, coming off that ACL injury, I just say stay clear. If you want to bring in a receiver, bring in someone that knows the offense that can help Cliff out, like Hollywood Brown. But then my biggest thing is going to the draft. This is one of the deepest receiver drafts that we've seen in quite some time. It was even better than 2 years ago when you saw all those studs when we picked Dotson and traded back. So there's a lot of big athletic guys in this draft. There's a lot of versatility when it comes to height, weight, speed type of guys. And we have 2 second-round picks. So I think that that's a prime area to go out there and get that next like alpha receiver who can eventually step in and take over for Terry when his contract's done here. But get that young guy, get a big body guy, let him grow with a rookie quarterback. Let those two, just kind of like work off of each other's strong points. And that's what I would love to see. But I wouldn't be disappointed if we brought in a guy like, Hollywood Brown and maybe gave him a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, because he knows the offense, he can stretch the field, and he can operate out of the slot or he can operate outside.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I don't know why we think 30 years old is so old in the, in the NFL world. I think they definitely need to add a wide receiver, especially someone with some size. I mean, the issue with trying to wait on the draft to see who's there, I expect a large run on wide receivers in the first round. So guys that you thought you might be able to sneak up and get, like a Keon Coleman out of Florida State or Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, may not be sitting there at 36 or 40. I think Mike Williams, you get to put him in a situation with a proven deal and see what he can make happen. Cliff Kingsbury offense is not really asking guys to do too much within the route tree. And even the issue that I have with his offense, he doesn't really move his wide receivers around either. So they pretty much stick in one place. And I think you just definitely need to add some size there. Mike Williams is a jump ball type of guy, but he also can run routes, even though he's like 6'4", 225, 230. I think if he's far along within his recovery process, which he should be, being that the ACL injury happened in the beginning of the season, if you can get him on a 1-year proven deal, I think you got to look into that. If you don't want to go that route, I still wouldn't wait and be comfortable in the draft. I might go out there and try to get a T. Higgins. I might get aggressive and call San Francisco for Brandon Ayuk. Like, those are things that I would explore at the wide receiver position, because I don't feel like Jahan Dotson can be that second guy that you can truly depend on, especially with a rookie quarterback coming into the fold.
Yeah, I think and a lot of people say.
Breaking news: Calvin Ridley just signed with the Titans, so that kind of segued into the conversation.
Interesting. They got numbers.
Yeah, 4-year, $92 million, $50 million guaranteed.
4-year
Yeah, it
deal.
was 4 years. Yep. Mhm.
Wow. So he's 29. That's a lot of. I didn't think he was gonna get a 4-year deal. He's got a lot of tread in his tires, though. That's the good thing about Ridley. I just didn't. I figured he would get like a 2 or 3 year deal, and they would throw a couple void years on there. I'm surprised. I'm surprised he got that deal. Good for him. Good for him.
That
So
last year.
I mean, to go to NFL, does that take away a trade partner for T Higgins?
I don't know if T's getting
For
traded,
sure.
guys.
For sure.
I agree with
Go ahead,
AJ.
Mark.
I would ask about T, man. I would ask about Ayuk. I would definitely be inquiring about these guys, but I don't think you're letting a young guy like T get away. I don't think you're letting Ayuk get away. You're going to do what you can do to keep those core pieces of your football team together. And as much as I would love to be able to say, hey, we got 2 second-round picks, I'll give you 36 or I'll give you 40 for one of these guys, and maybe even throw in a guy like, I don't know. I'm kind of like away from trading Jonathan Allen. I knew a lot of people wanted to get rid of him, but I kind of want to just see him stay here and just end his career in DC now. But I don't know. I would be 100% on board with trading for either one of those guys. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think with T Higgins is like he knows the writing is on the wall because essentially having to pay him and Jamar Chase within the same year is not going to happen. So he's going to be lamed up. So he's like, I might as well try to make my exit now instead of having Cincinnati be able to use these tags on me and restricting me from really hitting the market for a multi-year deal. I think that's where it's like coming into play for him. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I definitely think there'll be some movement within the wide receiver court.
Yeah, and back to us, like when you talk about. Go ahead, South.
What about Michael Thomas?
Oh no.
Interesting name. He's
I mean, look,
big body receiver.
Oh no.
That's from all aspects. That's from on the field. That's from off the field. Like it just wouldn't fit within that locker room.
here's an idea.
Yeah. Like for taller wide receivers, and I know people say, we need a 6'4" guy, 6'3" guy, but they have to play 6'3", 6'4", right? I mean, you want them to play even bigger than that if that's what they are. Like Terry plays bigger than what his actual height is. So just because they coming in big, like we want a physical wide receiver, and we just don't want the 6'3" guy that's just gonna be trying to run past people. Like we need them to be physical. That's why, like when it comes to height, I kind of dial back a little bit for wide receivers because some 6-foot wide receivers play 6'5", 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, they do. I agree with you there. But you got some special guys in this draft that,
Yeah.
I mean, they got the size and they have Keon Coleman, dude, the way he runs routes, I know he's not a burner. I think he ran 4.65 or something like that, and he was disappointed in a lot of people. Dude,
his play not fast either, but yeah.
I think his play is actually so much faster than his 40 time, and he's got amazing hands. I remember watching him run the gauntlet, and I was just in awe of how straight and how amazing his hands were. Everything that was thrown at him, he caught it. It was soft. You didn't hear a smack when the ball hit his hands. And he would be our version of like a Mike Williams. That's what I want for our football team. I want to get a guy that can grow with our young quarterback, and they can be here for 4 years, and then we re-sign him to another deal. So, Adonai Mitchell, he's another guy, like not the biggest guy. Like he doesn't have a body like Leggett and Coleman, but I mean, he can move, and he's a 6'3" and a half kid. So I think he would be another good fit too. And if I'm banking on it, one of those guys is going to be there at pick 40 between those 3 guys I just mentioned, because I agree with AJ. I think there's going to be 7 or 8 wide receivers that we could see go in the first round, but that's that second tier. And I don't think maybe Coleman sneaks into the first round, but I think you're going to see Leggett drop a little bit because he had a rough Senior Bowl, where he didn't catch the ball extremely well. And I think a lot of scouts are going to be like, all right, listen, if this guy had a great Senior Bowl, he would be a first-round receiver. But, you know, we saw him competing. He didn't do the best there. And I think he's going to be there for round 2.
Yeah. Before you get out of here, Mark, what else are you looking forward to in free agency? Are you, you know, what else do we need to do? Or do you think we're kind of? I know we still got to fill the roster, so of course we're gonna bring in guys to probably do that within the next couple of weeks. But what's the biggest move out there that you would like for them to make?
I definitely think it has to be offensive tackle and cornerback. If we can
go Mark, you know what? I just thought of something, Mark, because I know you'll know. Is there a trade out there for a tackle?
I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what team might be wanting to get rid of somebody that's on their books, and they might want to create some cap space. I haven't really been looking into potential trades at the tackle side. Not to say it couldn't happen, but I'm just looking at – I think there's a couple guys that can come in and play right now that we can get in free agency without having to give up picks. So that's kind of where my head's been. As for corner, I think if we can solidify like a solid nickel corner who has the ability to play outside as well, like Jordan Lewis makes all the sense in the world. I don't think – unless I missed it when I was fixing my toilet here in the last 2 hours where I had a little flood in the house, I don't think he's signed with anybody.
Not yet.
And you look at the name, like Darnay Holmes has been linked to us. He's a Giant, so he's within our division. 25-year-old, good corner, good young corner. I think he would be an amazing signing. I don't think he's signed with anybody yet. And then I keep going back to Christian Fulton. I loved him when he came out of LSU. I think he was picked in round 4, and he's at Houston, and he's going to want to be that guy. And I think we can get him on a relatively reasonable contract, like a 3-year contract, maybe less than $12 million a year, because he's not what you would call a proven guy. But I think he can come in and compete, and I think he can give us a lot of really good football in him. He's a big boy too. So we go into those positions. I think if we can go into the draft by having those 2 positions kind of knocked out, and allows us to be able to do what we need to do in the draft, which is go quarterback at 1, go offensive tackle at 2, go wide receiver or edge at 3, pick up a tight end in the 3rd, pick up maybe another defensive back in the 3rd, and then we just go best player from there on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. If we get Tyron Smith, we get that corner, how would your board look like after that?
It wouldn't
answer that.
Yeah, it wouldn't change at all. I mean, I'm still like, quarterback. I'm wearing my North Carolina hat today, so you may know where my head's at when it comes to quarterback. I still think there's a lot of smoke screens going on with that, but that's probably my guy. But I'm not going to be upset if we took Daniels. I will buy a jersey of both of those quarterbacks, no matter who we take. I promise you that. I will be wearing a number 10 jersey or a number 5 jersey next year. So I can guarantee you I will be thrilled. But
what number Caleb wear?
What number what?
What number does Caleb wear?
Oh, don't even get me started. That's my dream pick. Don't even get me started. If we get Caleb, you know what? I will send you guys all a bottle of bourbon to celebrate with.
Oh man, thanks again, man, for joining us today, Mark. It's always a pleasure to have you on the pod or in spaces. We definitely appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys too, man. I hope everyone's doing well. Stay healthy, stay good out there, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.
All right, hey, Mark, did you have your mock? Have you done your mock yet for Hogs Haven?
I put out a pre-combine mock. I'll do another one once we get through free agency and we kind of get like into the middle of March. But I did a pre-combine like mock off season where it was cuts, it was free agent signings, and a mock draft to go along with it. So I'm like, my son always tells me, because he's really good at math and I'm not good at math. He's like, Dad, you got to show your work. So when I talk about doing a mock draft with people, I'm like, show your work. Don't just show me your mock. Show me what you did before to get to that mock. So
okay.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Show your work.
Yeah. All right, we definitely be looking out for it. Appreciate you, Mark.
All right, guys. Enjoy. Be good.
All right, Mark. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thanks. Peace. Oh man, so what we got so far? Any new signings NFL wise?
No,
Morgan Moses got traded.
they came out with the Tyler. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Morgan Moses got traded. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, to the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay. Was you about to say Smoke?
They came out with the details. They came out with the details on the center, Tyler B. I don't even know how to say his last name, but they
Biotish.
say it's a 13.5 million dollar bonus with 20.7 million guaranteed. Year one is a $4.15 million cap hit. Year two, $8.95 million cap hit. Year three, $10.75 million cap hit. $1 million roster bonus due on 4/1/26. 2.65 cap savings if cut. 8.1 million in dead money. So that's down the road, that dead money stuff. So yeah, I think it's set up pretty good, man.
Yeah, I ain't mad about those cap hits. Yeah, the money gonna go up, so that 10 million the third year, that ain't gonna. That's not gonna be anything. So I ain't too worried about that. Hey, AJ. So the Mariota, I don't think I've talked to you since that. How do you look at that sign? It was just like, all right, whatever.
I mean, I think it's just a familiarity thing. With working with Brian Johnson last year in
Mm-hmm.
Philly, I think it's just something where someone they could bring in, a guy that has operated in the spread offense before, and the familiarity with Brian Johnson, it just works out. Veteran, former Heisman Trophy winner, #2 overall pick, just a lot of experiences from the collegiate level to professional level, been around the game, different offenses, all of that. I think is just a beneficial pickup.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't invest in too much in that pickup. Is a veteran backup. He's familiar with what Brian Johnson does, just like you said. He's been in the league. He's a vet. Um, and that's just a regular, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, we could go back to Atlanta when he left the team and all that other stuff, that play there. But I don't think there's nothing to it. I think we needed a vet, and we went out and got him. I know we was in the market for Sam Darnold, so I'm not too surprised about this. Let's talk about Howell a little bit.
I was gonna say to you, Deuce, they was in the
Yeah,
market for a lot of. They were in the market for a lot of backup quarterbacks that ended up signing elsewhere. It's just,
yeah,
Jacoby represents himself. That was New England gave him the better opportunity to possibly start.
yeah, yep.
Whereas, if they taking a #2 overall pick at quarterback or possibly even moving up, you're not really gonna get that opportunity unless that person gets hurt.
Yeah, I definitely think Jacoby. He was talking about that for a while. I just think that made the most sense for him because it seems like they're going to want to draft someone and hopefully sit them and behind Jacoby, which I think won't be a bad idea. We may see that in Seattle too, depending on who they want to grab. So I won't be surprised either way. What about you, Smoke? How you feeling about the backup quarterbacks?
Mariota, like I say, I'm still a little complexed about it, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Veteran in the room, like you say, the relationship with Brian Johnson. But other than that, man, I know that now it's like Jaden that too. That's what it's looking like to me. That's what it feels like. Jaden that too.
Why
Unless,
Smoke?
like
Let
Mark
me
said,
ask you this: why
Now
you
is a
think
party.
Jaden that too?
Now is a party.
why I
Why you
think
think
Jaden
Jaden
that
that
too,
too?
because like I think the Bears may try to fleece too much, bro, to go up to one. I really want Caleb, but I don't think Caleb gonna fall at two. And if we got to give up too much, man, like there are too many holes on this roster. There are too people complaining about we signed 12, 13 free agents already, and we still got holes on this roster. So I'm just like, Why give up so much to go and get that guy where I could stay at 2 and I already got a guy similar in the room right now that could translate the offense to him and stuff like that. So I'm kind of on the
But
Jaden side, but I
what's too
like
much
Caleb. I
though?
love Caleb.
What is too much?
A 25 first, a 26 first, two additional first round picks. Two additional first rounds. I don't want to give up 25 and 26 to move up
it
one
wouldn't even
spot.
be remotely
Now,
close to
if it's
that.
just
If they need to move up, it wouldn't be remotely close to that. You're talking about 2-1, not 10-1 or 13-1. It's literally one step up. So it wouldn't be that rich of a trade. You might possibly lose like 2 of your second round picks, or maybe one of them, and maybe at most a first next year. But I mean, it wouldn't be that rich where it's like multiple first round picks and all this other stuff.
now, if I had to give up 1 second this year, one of our thirds this year, and next year's first, I would do it for Caleb. I would do that, but I'm not giving up no more than the second this year, the third, one of our thirds this year, and next year's first. Other than that, I'm not doing that. Like that, but that's
Yeah,
just me, man. And right now we're talking in hypotheticals. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I am. Like I wouldn't mind doing that trade either. I'm not giving up 2 firsts. Not giving up both of my seconds this year, both of my thirds this year. I'm not doing it like a second, a third this year, and a first next year. Because I think you're going to have to give up a first, maybe in a second next year. But I don't want to give up a first, to be honest with y'all. But y'all know how I feel, right? I don't like, for me. I don't think there's a big enough gap to give up assets to move up. But what you willing to give up, Sal?
Especially if we talking about adding a T Higgins. That's going to cost something. What is a T Higgins going to cost us this year before we even get to the draft and stuff like that? So it's just like, man, like I don't know, but go ahead, Sal. Go ahead, Sal.
So the thing is, Smoke, you said we signed 12 free agents, and then people still talking about we still got holes on the team. Although I agree with you, but do those guys? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
but do those guys in the building agree with the fans? Like, do they think we have so many holes too? Because us as fans, we don't know what's going on, So, like, yeah, I would agree we got holes, but like some of those guys in the building might be like, you know what? We got a guy who we could play here. It's probably a hole that down the road. If we can upgrade, we could upgrade. But it's not immediate, like, because every team's gonna have holes, right? Every team has a hole or 2 or 3. But like you gotta have the people who can cover up those holes with their play as a quarterback, whoever that might be. So to me, I don't know what's too much compensation, draft capital. I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just gonna piggyback off of you. So every team has holes. I think some in the fan base are under this impression that even with the draft, if they were to just stay still at all of their picks, that all these holes automatically get filled. No, they're just bodies until you really put these things together and see how everyone works in cohesion with one another. So if you ultimately, after doing your scouting, you feel like this person is leaps and bounds beyond this other talent at quarterback, I feel like you have to do everything in your power to pursue that opportunity and see if you can make the move. If you can't make something shake, you're still in position to get one of the other quarterbacks. If you like Jaden Daniels, if you like Drake May, if you even like JJ McCarthy, you're still in position to get somebody there. But I personally feel that Caleb Williams is way further ahead than Jaden Daniels and Drake May, to the point where I would consider moving these assets, because at the end, nothing matters until you get a quarterback. Like,
That's right.
if you don't have that quarterback, none of that other stuff matters. I mean, the Chiefs have a bunch of holes on their team, and they're still winning championships. They're still competing regularly. The Eagles didn't necessarily have a hole on their team at running back, but you've seen them move off from DeAndre Swift and go acquire Saquon Barkley. They didn't necessarily need a pass rush. They still got Josh Sweat under contract. They still got Hassan Reddick under contract. They went and put that money into Bryce Huff. So it's just really about how you look at your team and how you want to visualize it long term. But you can always move future assets to get back into this draft. Me personally, I always look two drafts down the line just because of the line of work that I'm in. Next year's class is not the greatest with talent that they could possibly need at certain positions. And I think you can possibly risk that first round pick next year, even your second next year, to go and get a guy, whether it be on the offensive line or go and get your quarterback at number one and have control over the entire draft, whatever the case is. That's just how I feel. I'm more of an aggressive approach. I guess I'm probably like a Howie Roseman mindset. Like, fuck them picks. Les Snead, fuck them picks. Like, I'm trying to go get what I want. And if I don't get what I want, I can say that I tried. That's my approach. I think playing it safe is exactly why this roster looks the way that it does with Ron Rivera. That's why you've seen 12 guys get signed, agree to terms in the last 48 hours of tempering.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset, man. The Snead thing is a little tricky, like that. Those medicals is a little concerning, but of course, that came off from the Chiefs side somehow, because we ain't know nothing about that until after the season, that he was getting his knee drained every 3 to 4 weeks. So that is concerning. That's probably why he hasn't moved yet. But what do you all think?
What is the case, Deuce? What you say?
He gets his knee drained every 3 to 4 weeks from a previous injury, so he has fluid buildup in his knee.
Someone leaked that?
Yeah.
Man, see, that's the thing. In the NFL, there's a lot of guys doing a lot of things to be able to play weekly, man. Whether it be getting shot
the thing
up,
came out with Tyron, Tyron Smith. Like, he get the whatever needle in his back.
Breaking news. We just signed Bobby Wags to a 1-year deal.
No, we didn't.
Breaking news.
Are you sure, Smoke? Did it come from a credible account?
Oh, Ian Rappaport. Yeah,
it Ian Rappaport. On my drop down, bro.
Hey, AJ. AJ, hire me, bro. Hire me to your team, bro. Hire me to your team, bro.
When I get off
me,
here,
man.
I'll make a couple texts. Because, Bobby Wagner represents himself and the financial group that he's with. I'm really close with them, those guys over there. So I'm surprised that Bobby would actually want to come east because he's been on the West Coast his entire career. So that's really off the love of Dan Quinn. That just shows you how much relationships matter in this business, because for Bobby to come to the East Coast is wild.
That's crazy.
Hey,
bro, 1 year, $8.5 million. Then 1 year, $8.5 million, $6 million guaranteed, man. I'm not mad at it.
Hey,
it made too much sense, man. Man, Jamin and Frankie could just run around pre-snap. Come on, man. Made too much sense, man.
They're cooking.
Hey, AJ, man, look. I called Bobby. I say, man, look, man. This is what it is, man. This is what we doing. This is what I need you to do, man. You know what I'm saying? I got his number too, AJ. It's like, nah.
I mean, that's a
too much sense, man.
I'm surprised, but like I said, man, it boils down to relationships. You're seeing guys that are committing to this team based off of the strength and the love and the admiration for Dan Quinn, whether it be a Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong, whoever. Like, these relationships really matter. So, that's huge for Bobby to come in. I think that answers a lot as far as how Luvu will be used in this defense, because Bobby is strictly going to play middle linebacker, and he's not coming off the field. He's a three down linebacker. So,
bro, it made too much sense, man. I'm excited, and everybody that's in the comments, man, man, y'all been rocking with me the whole time. I can't get to the comments, put them on the screen right now, but definitely gonna throw them up later. Appreciate y'all, but yeah, man, wagyu, man, wagyu time, baby. It made too much
Hey,
sense,
Deuce,
man.
where
We was talking about that earlier.
Hey, Deuce, you driving to Waldorf or something? Like, you've been driving forever. Just around, and it just looked like you in the city the whole time. Like, where the hell are you going?
He been driving for an hour and 9 minutes.
I've been looking at Southeast for the last 30, 45 minutes. Like, God damn, I ain't know Southeast was that big.
Yes, man. Making a few rounds, man. But look,
Your boy Deuce driving in circles.
But look, man.
Just burning
like,
gas.
man, look, man. It made too much sense, man. I like it. These boys cooking, man.
It's weird.
These boys cooking,
honestly,
man.
this is the weirdest.
They need to cook a little bit more offensively, though. I ain't gonna lie. We'll see. I hope they make some signings at left tackle and wide receiver in the coming days. But
AJ,
they definitely
going
don't
offense.
like nothing on that defense.
AJ, they going offense the whole drive. The whole
Maybe.
drive. Everything, they're going offense. Why?
The fans don't do nothing else. I gotta look at my list, man. I gotta update my list. But Bobby, I didn't have him. And that's something like I didn't have him on there. Like I didn't have him on my original list, but because I made the list like the day before the Sunday, and I was like, I ain't gonna change it. I ain't gonna make no adjustments to it. But we just started talking about it more, especially after we got Frankie. Like after we got Frankie, it just made too much sense because I know I believe that he can play Mike. Like he did it a few games. He had the green dot a few games last year. Like I believe he can do it, but he's just so impactful off the ball. Like all those great numbers that we see from him is coming off the ball. And then as though Quinn was saying, you putting like in Jamin, putting him in positions to use his speed, his strengths, putting him, man, it made too much sense just to have those dudes free. And to bring somebody in the middle that understands the position, that can communicate. He may not be able to go sideline to sideline, but he can go hash to hash. Like he can go hash to hash, and he can, what I'm saying? He had 183 tackles last year, so he still can play. He's the same age as when we signed London Fletcher. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes are durable. They can play. I wouldn't mind a rookie there. But just having a veteran presence right there that plays at a high level can do great things for this defense, especially with that young set, man. Hey,
I mean, I think about within the locker room too. Like Bobby's a great guy. Like off the field, like
Thomas Davis.
Like he's really a great leader, great person to get to know, great person within the community. He can help teach so many different nuances of the game to Jamin Davis, to Aluvu, and to whoever else they bring into the fold within that linebacker room. And that's something that Washington's been missing for a long time since, like a name you just mentioned, London Fletcher, really haven't had a veteran presence at that linebacker position that's played at an elite level within their career. And Bobby is still in athletic shape and still putting up great numbers. It may not be as fast as he once was, but he still know how to diagnose run games and plays and communicate and align people correctly. So that is huge for them to pick up on.
For sure, man. Hey, look, everybody that's listening and watching on Twitter, throw them hearts up. Everybody that's in the YouTube chat, Facebook chat, let me see them bats. Put them bats up like we did yesterday. Run them bats in the comment section, man. Run them bats, man. All right, so wide receivers, right? AJ mentioned pick up a free agent wide receiver. I'm a little skeptical of Mike Williams. I'm not sure what the Chargers did to get under the cap. I know they released him. I know they restructured Khalil. I haven't heard anything about Mike or Bosa. If y'all did, go ahead and cut me off. But I don't know, man. Like the injury thing kind of scares me a little bit with these receivers. So what veteran guys? We start with you, AJ. what veteran guys via trade or free agency would you want them to bring in?
I mean, with the Calvin Ridleys now off the board, I still
Yeah,
say
I wanted him.
It's T. Higgins, it's Brandon Ayuk possibly. The relationship there with the 49ers, Adam Peter knows him hands on. If they were to happen to draft Jaden Daniels, that was his former teammate, wide receiver at Arizona State, and Brandon Ayuk. Um, I would say also I would be interested in them possibly acquiring a Hollywood Brown. Some people may not like it from a size structure wise, but he put up some solid numbers within that offense. Like I said, they're not really asking you to do much within that route tree of Kingsbury's offense. It's more so that threat of speed. Like when you have two guys in a Terry McLaurin and a Hollywood Brown that can stretch the field and be that threat offensively, it opens up so much more for the run game, pass game, and just play calling in general. But it would be nice to get someone of a certain stature, like a 6'3", 6'4" Mike Williams. I'm not really concerned about injuries. It's football, man. Injuries gonna happen. So whether you getting shot in the back, you getting shot in the knee, you taking shots of Hennessy, Casamigos before games, that's just what happens, man. Like guys have to do certain things to play throughout the week. I think that his ACL injury, Mike Williams, happened so
What's
early
good?
in
We
the
good?
season. Fortunately,
We
he
good?
should be in position to be able to start. Um, he should
All
be
right,
able to
bet.
start training camp and even be available in
I get with
OTA
you.
and mini camp immediately because he should be damn near close to fully being recovered.
Most definitely, man. What about you, Smoke? Who you got on your radar?
Um, I see people keep saying Josh Reynolds because of the Lance Newmark edition that we had and stuff like that. He's a bigger guy, um, but I don't want a Josh Reynolds. I want a splash guy out there, man. So
He got that
this is
handsy
what I'm gonna
problem,
say.
right?
I, well, last year he did pretty good. He did pretty good, but it's just he's just a guy. He's just a jag.
I'm not a jag.
He's definitely a jag.
Yeah,
I
Josh
think
Reynolds,
I
man, he
think
My
some
can't catch,
bad. Can you
man.
hear me?
some
Can you hear
some
me?
people see certain guys with certain teams and like, damn, he's playing good, but it's that particular scheme that works for him. Like Josh Reynolds don't move the button. You could get a Josh Reynolds in the draft easily. Why
We talking
why
about the
pay
wide
somebody?
receiver, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like why
Yeah, he was
why pay
dropping
somebody
passes
like
in the
that?
playoffs, man.
Oh, he
Like
did.
your Josh Reynolds could possibly be Mitchell Tinsley from Penn State. So why why go draft? I mean, why go pay a Josh Reynolds money?
That's mad. That's
I mean,
mad.
it's just the reality of the situation. No hatred towards that man.
Yeah, man. Oh, what you got, South? Until we get Smoke back.
I wouldn't mind like I don't mind the Mike Williams thing because the way the team is trending, they're not gonna give him like a 3-year deal. They're gonna give him a 1-year deal, and they're not gonna be like, you need to be our number one receiver. He's got Terry, he's got Jahan, I mean, the one Zach Ertz in there, and whoever's gonna play tight end. So they're not gonna ask him be like, hey man, we need you to do all this for us. So I wouldn't mind the Mike Williams. I think T Higgins for a like compensation standpoint, I think he's gonna be asking for a lot. I'm not too familiar with how much he's gonna want, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot. And then you would have Terry and him with pretty big contracts, so I don't see how that would work out. But yeah, the Mike Williams thing for me would be fine because I would see them bring him in like a 1-year deal, kind of like a Bobby Wagner. 1-year deal. Let's see what you got. We're not gonna ask you to do too much, so that'd be cool with me.
Yeah, the interesting thing with Terry, they can get out of his contract next year, so you might want to
Mm-hmm.
start. You might want to start acquiring a big time wide receiver like a T. the younger side of their career. I think Terry is probably about to turn 30, either this year or next year.
Yeah, I think next
But they
year.
can also get out his contract. Like I said, yeah, they can get out his contract. So it won't really hurt. I think sometimes people think like elite players, like, damn, are we going to pay two guys 23 to 25 million at wide receiver? Yeah, you got the cap to do so. That's the one thing with how bad the last regime built the roster. You're not really paying nobody. Like, you really don't have any guys getting marquee money. So you can spread that around. You can make it where you can front load contracts, put in the void years to still have cap flexibility for not just the season, but next year and the following season.
Get smoke back in here. Yeah, man, I like it. Go ahead, smoke. I know
Yeah,
you was
can you
with
hear me?
Josh Reynolds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just saying I don't want a Josh Reynolds. I'll take a Mike Williams on a 1 year prove it deal. Because the last time I seen him in a 1 year prove it deal was a contract season and he went off. So give me the 1 year prove it deal for Mike Williams. That's a big body, going down the sideline, contested catch balls and stuff like that. I'll take
Hey,
Mike
Smoke.
Williams, man, and then second, yeah.
Why
Hmm.
you copy my answer?
Hey, I would even like Odell Beckham
Oh,
Jr.
you said
within
one
this
year prove it deal?
offense.
Yeah, I said Mike
I
Williams.
Even
He a Rizzo
Odell
next
Beckham
time,
Jr. can
Smoke.
flourish within this offensive scheme as well.
Odell Beckham
Hold on, I
Jr.
can't hear. What happened?
No, he
Who
was saying
can?
Odell Beckham Jr. And then South said he said Mike Williams too. Can you hear me now, Smoke?
Okay. Yeah, I take Mike Williams, and the second in line is Tyler Boyd. I
Got
can
a
hear you.
delay.
Tyler Boyd is my second one. I take Tyler Boyd. I like Tyler Boyd. Always like
Hey,
Tyler
Smoke,
Boyd.
I'm
I take
Smoke. I'm starting to think you like mid. You like mid, huh?
Nah,
Ooh.
I don't like mid. I don't like mid. I don't like mid. But I'm looking at if you look at mid, all of them are mid. DJ Chark, if you look at the availables, the only one that's up there is Mike Williams, T. Higgins, you got to trade for. Like, all of these guys are basically mid. Like, so that's why I say with us getting Bobby Wags, I'm not taking Peyton Wilson at 40 no more like I wanted. I want to go and get one of these good receivers out there, Xavier Legette or something like that. That's just me now. That's where I'm at with it. One of these good receivers, young receivers, I'd rather try it in the draft. I'd rather try it in the draft.
They might still go get Peyton though.
Yeah, I think you in perfect position to
But
get
I'm just
Peyton
saying,
Wilson.
man, like this available
You you
free
got
agent
you
list.
got you got a great tutor right there, and he can get some reps. He can
Yeah,
sit
like
back,
36 or
relax, and,
40.
and
So
rotate.
Yeah, man,
I
they
don't
had
know.
that man playing free safety. Some of the tape I watched to him, they had that man playing free safety, man. That dude
That's
gonna
what I'm
be
saying.
dead.
I don't know if he drops out of the first round, AJ.
Payne Wilson ain't no first round pick.
You
Nah, I
sure?
think he gets his. Yeah, I think he gets his second.
I don't think no linebackers going in the first round. I think first round is mostly going to be made up of offensive linemen, wide receivers, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks. There's not
think
even
Junior
really going to
Colson
be that
going in the
many.
first?
Nah, definitely not. I don't like I said. I don't think any linebackers going in the first round.
Who you got as the number one linebacker?
It's always been Peyton Wilson for me. The main concern was just his injury history. That's it. But I mean, he can play. He's lights out. He's everything that Washington would want defensively out of a player. Like, he plays fast. He diagnoses, plays very fast. He can get off of blocks. He's sideline to sideline. He can play in the pass game. He's a pass rusher. He's what 6'4", 240. Another fast guy. I don't know what he ran in the 40. I want to say it might have been like a 4.5.
I
But
think it was
Who you talking
4-4.
about?
He was 4-4.
Peyton
Four
Wilson.
four 449, I think.
Yeah. So let's say 4 or 5. Like, at the end of the day, he's big. If you look at their defense, like I said, from the acquisitions, everyone is a big and physical, fast individual. Even Luvu
Mm-hmm.
is like 6'3", 230, 240, whatever the case is, but they just play fast.
And Jamin.
They may not always be right, but they gonna play fast.
So
Yeah, them
let me ask y'all this: does having like Jamin and Luvu now that we got Wax, does that change the edge need in the draft? Does it move it down a little bit?
Now, I think you still need a pass rusher. It just you're now going into the draft not necessarily with needs. You now can have flexibility on how you maneuver, whether it be moving up, moving back, and not having to force yourself. Like you could get in the second round, you might be able to get a Robinson out of Missouri. You might be able to Top Robinson might fall there. Disa Isaac, um, Xavier Thomas from Clemson. Like there's a lot of guys that you could consider in day 2, second or third round at that position, but you still definitely need an edge because none of those guys have long-term deals at pass rush on the team, and they like to have a rotation. But I think that they'll use Luvu like how they use Micah Parsons in Dallas. Like they'll move him all over the field. He'll place him in. He might line up over the guard in some situations. He's gonna blitz a lot. He's gonna play all ball linebacker. I think that's their mini Micah Parsons.
I
Not
think
saying
they
he's
do
gonna
the
be
same
like
thing with.
Micah,
I think
but
they do the
how they
same thing with
utilize him.
Jamin. I think they do the same thing with Jamin too.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see that.
I think
AJ,
it'd
I
be
see you
more.
here, man.
more this is interesting, man. I like this. I like this.
Hey, but Deuce, man, I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's
Definitely
almost
need to.
6. Yeah, man.
I need to step away because we got Trap or Dive today because we didn't do a show yesterday.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I definitely
All right, man.
appreciate this conversation with you, South and Smoke, and also Mark. Man, continue doing your thing, and yeah, always got my support. Red Zone in the lab. Check it out.
I appreciate you, man. I get with you, AJ.
All right, AJ,
Hey, no
appreciate you, man.
problem, man. Just stop driving around Southeast streets, man. You know these little boys out here ain't playing no games.
Yeah, man. All right, man.
All right, man.
All right, peace.
So is this a one-man show? What's going on here?
Yeah, man. One man show for a couple seconds. Oh,
I
the
want to
South
shout out.
show.
Thanks to my mama. Without you, I wouldn't be here. Shout out to my dad. I know you're gonna watch this later. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this situation.
Crazy, man. But now though, like Adam just said, man, I can definitely see. I think Chopper go in the first round as an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Um,
What about
I
the
think,
other Robinson?
yeah, I think he'll be more so there at 40.
Yeah, because he didn't run fast.
Yeah, I
He's
think
more like a Dorrance Armstrong, and
he's explosive though.
yeah, his 10-yard split was probably nice. Did we lose Smoke?
I don't know what happened to Smoke. We about to have Witt join us in a couple minutes, talk some Raiders.
Oh,
Appreciate everybody for coming through, man.
Deuce, where are you driving to?
Yeah, man. Where my moves at, man? Yeah, moves.
Hey man, I'm just asking.
So what else? Any other signings?
Yeah, I'm checking. I'm
In
checking
NFL?
Twitter. Will Blackman thinks we're gonna sign Justin Simmons still.
That'd be crazy.
It would be that'd be nuts if they sign Justin Simmons. If they sign Justin Simmons, I'm pretty sure they're going 100% offense in the draft.
Yeah, because it was talks with the Eagles, but that fell through.
Yeah, because they got CJ Gardner Johnson.
Nah, but
You guys
after that, it was
can't pay
still some
nobody.
rumors that. After that, it was still some rumors that they still might go that way.
No, there were, and then a report came out. I think at like 2 o'clock. I forgot. I think it was like an Eagles beat reporter. He said they came off of Justin Simmons because they have too many resources put into Gardner Johnson. This is crazy. Our linebacker room was in shambles like 3 days ago.
Yeah, Wit in the building. We'll bring you up in a sec, Wit.
You heard me, Juice? Our linebacker room 3 days ago, we was in trouble.
Let me get Wit up here. Oh, yeah, he'll be with us in a sec. I don't know what happened to Smoke.
His internet's out.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm just making something up. I don't know if it is out or not.
Oh, do me a favor. Send Glenn the link in the chat for me. In the
Yeah, I got you.
DM for me.
He said, Smoke said he got some issues with his router. Glenn, where are you? All right, Glenn should be in there in a minute.
All right, everyone, give us a couple minutes. We're gonna be right back. Just trying to get out of settings. I was on the road. I don't know if you all went by RFK. RFK looks horrible, man. It was horrible. Cause you know they didn't some YouTubers have went in RFK. They snuck in there somehow. I don't know.
Oh, really? They showed it?
Yeah, they went all around it. And DC United didn't clean up after their last game.
Really?
Yep. Which is crazy.
Hey, Glenn, if you're watching, check your DM. I sent you the link. What's that, 13 players that they got now? That's crazy. And 12 of them are from other teams? Crazy. How old is Bobby Wagner?
Here we go.
Wow, there he goes. There goes, dude.
Your boy is back in the building. Your boy is back in the building. You know what I'm saying? All right, good. I look at my eye for TV.
You must have just got a haircut. That's why. That's why he's back.
I got one yesterday. Yo, Wit, what's good, man?
What up? What up?
What's going on, man? Turn your camera.
Yeah, you see me? I'm good.
Yeah, I see you. Just flip your camera to landscape.
He said he's not used to TV, dudes.
All right. There we go. Better.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. You?
Good, hanging in there, man. Glenn is also in the stream. So, Glenn, when you turn your camera on, you're gonna be in the stream, man. So make sure you TV ready. So what's good, Whit, man? We definitely appreciate you for joining us today, man, to talk a little bit of Raiders. This is your second time on the show. Last time you came in here, you just gave us some background on one of the coaches that we have from you all. But let's talk some Raiders, man. Like this past season, just a little bit. We can go too much in the past. Look, league year started 2 hours ago. We ain't worried about the past too much. But what was that whole experience like with Josh Daniels, man?
Horrible. You think a coach or just anybody, learn their first time around being a head coach, learning through experience, what they did right, what they did wrong. You think they'll do better the second time around, but that's just not the case. He's still trying to be somebody that he's not. And also just thinking about the football side of things, he's still running the same things that he ran New England with Tom Brady. So by that time, all that stuff is outdated. The formations, people know it's really predictable. So, the players didn't buy in. The players just shut down, and that's what led to making the change mid-season.
And what was that experience like being, firing the head coach, making some other moves, and this, intern comes in there and it seems like riles everyone up and you all start being a completely different team. What was that roller coaster like?
I mean, it was fun. An interim head coach, 18 years in the league. I mean, he has all the experience in the role as a player, but 18 years as an NFL head coach. 18 years being just in the NFL and as a coach in general. Then you bring in an interim OC that was a quarterback coach. You still got the defense. You made changes. You got at your GM. You fire your head coach. And also you fired your offensive coordinator too. So everybody was just basically like a fresh start for everybody. And the guys was bought into consistent with AP was preaching. He brought everybody around as far as in the building, fans, and players. So with him, man, he just brought a new breath of fresh air to the organization, and it's really exciting for him to bring him back.
So looking forward to, or looking, after the season into the coaching search, and the job that he did, and we saw this was Wilkes a couple years ago, right? Wilkes takes over intern. The guys started to plan. They win some games, different motivation. Everyone wanted him to come back. Did you all kind of expect that happening to Antonio Pierce, or was it a different vibe?
Both experiences had some similarities, but I think it was just different. Antonio Pierce is from Compton, California, so he was born into the Raider. He know the Raider way. He bought, the alumni bought into it. So I think it was just like meant to be almost like a Cinderella story of how, like, he didn't get the chance to play for the Raiders, or and the Raiders was his favorite team growing up, and now him being a linebackers coach first, and now being the head coach of the Raiders, it just hit different. And I think the expectations, everybody's buying to the expectations, and knows, just like the old Raider way. And I think they're just trying to bring that swagger back throughout the building, and it starts from the top, from the owner all the way down to the head coach and the players.
I love that, man. Them hiring him, the players coming out. I mean, your best player. Like, I wanted him. Like, you already know. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted somebody like Max, man. I wouldn't mind having him on our team. That type of energy that he have. He wouldn't have, like, that would not have been a Ron pick. Like, that's for sure. But somebody like him that can galvanize a whole locker room, that can set a movement. Look, AP needs to be here, and I'm sure they met with him, and he voiced that to them. Them hiring Antonio Pierce, like, what was that like for the fan base? And I know you're here on this side with us, but I know you're got connections over there. How was it for the city?
I mean, the city was lit, man. Everybody's lit. You have some people that wanted Harbaugh. They wanted a complex system of bringing in these coaches and stuff like that. But from the end of the season, everybody in the building knew it was AP's job, I'm saying, from the jump. They just needed to get a GM first. So my thing is that, like, you had some people, like, I feel like it was a lot of people besides people that had doubts just of, like, he was a black man, the coaching for the Raiders, he doesn't have a whole lot of experience, just a whole bunch of BS excuses. But my thing is that for the majority of our fans, though, we were behind AP, but some just wanted a more complex system, like others, like y'all did. We hired a bunch of y'all brought in a bunch of coaches to interview and GMs and stuff like that. They wanted that type of process. But I mean, if you know it's your guy, you don't have to waste time just interviewing people just for the heck of it. I mean, just comply with the running rule and hire your guy, and then bring your GM in, and let's get it rolling.
For sure. All right, we here, man. Coaching staff is intact. It's time to start working and building the team. Coming into free agency, we had the combine, Senior Bowl, all those different types of things. What are you all looking to do as a team and whole before we actually go over what's happening in free agency?
Just be aggressive. Establish mentality, even that's through free agency, re-signing people. Looking to trade market, or even just the draft, and just establish that mentality, get guys that fit your system, get guys that are going to buy into what the coach and the GM, and just, what everybody expects. And, my things, start off in a great start right now for agency, but I think what we want now is just people that just buy into the system.
Free agency has started. How did you? We're gonna. I want you to do the two things. What did you expect for them to do coming into free agency, and those expectations, have they been met, or do you desire more, or do you desire a little bit less?
Yeah. So just from AP's mentality when he took over the team, he wanted to be aggressive. He wanted to punch people in the mouth. He wanted, people to be attentive, have communication. He wanted to run the ball. We had Josh Jacobs at the time. He was stuck on just running the ball, pounding the rock, getting out, set up the play action, and just being aggressive on defense and discipline. But man, right now, free agency, when they were hired, they said they wanted to build from the inside out, and that's what they did. They addressed a need that we needed for the longest. We haven't had that type of defensive tackle in a long time, since probably like Tommy Kelly, and this was when, like, back in 2009 or something like that. So just to build that D-line, the D-line helps the back end of the defense with the linebackers and corners and everything like that. So you address that, a need that was way overdue. for Max Crosby. You drafted your DN, your hybrid DN, 3-tech with Tyree Wilson. Now you bring in Christian Wilkins. You had a emergence of Michael Kuntz last year after AP took over. So, we built that from the ground up. You signed that quarterback now. You released Jimmy G. You released Brian Hoyer. So you're releasing guys, the Josh McDaniels guys. You bring in guys you want. You bring in Gardner Minshew. You saw what he did in with Indianapolis. So you bring him in with Aiden O'Connell, and you try to just draft your quarterback in the draft.
I like it. I love the direction of the team. I'm definitely rooting for you all for AP, man, because to be honest, a lot of times we get these situations for us. It'd be situations where they just need us to be bad for a couple years and then bring in new people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely looking forward to following you all. But one Crowder.
Yeah,
I guess we need back. Go ahead, Wick, because you always give me bad news when you come up in the space, put something on the jumbo
it popped
man.
up, man. It's the average sign Crowder,
But what else? I'll say. So what have you guys done so far this free agency? Just tell the people some people you have signed, some people you're looking forward to signing. If there's anyone else out there, and if you all need to add more pieces in free agency.
Yeah. I think as far as you gotta look at your team. Last year we went the depth route. Last year we went the depth route because we had a whole lot of holes to fill, and we really wasn't. You could say we were a quarterback away, but we probably needed that one more year just to make sure we were for certain a quarterback away. Now you bring in guys like a Christian Wilkins, a Gardner Minshew, and my thing is now is that you just gotta hold on, my bad. I lost track. I just zoned out. You messed me up with that Crowder news, man.
Hey, look, so check this out. With so all week, right? We've been running this. Yeah. We've been doing this free agency run, right? So if you go back and watch any of the videos, most of the time while we're talking, everybody's like this. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, right. So because everybody is like looking on their phone, looking up. So you all good, man.
I got the camera horizontal, so I'm looking at you, but it look like I'm looking this way. Kind of like the camera. Go ahead.
You all good, man.
Now, can you repeat that question again? Because
now, man, we was just talking about free agency, man. What else are you looking forward to these guys doing?
So I'm looking for some trades. I mean, you see guys, Joe Mixon go for a 7. Malik Collins went for a 7th-round pick. So just engage in the trade market, see if you can get a corner, a linebacker, and possibly get you a right tackle. The right tackle, just in free agency, that market is just kind of weak. I'd rather address that in free agency. Not in free agency, but in draft, especially the O-line, the guard, and right tackle position. Running back position as well, too. You see guys went out quick, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry. So I'd rather just address that in the draft. Free agency, I'll be looking to add some speed if it's out there at a reasonable price. But my thing is that I feel like the next thing we need to do is just bring in a corner to be on the opposite side of Jack Jones and put beside Nate Hobbs as well too, since we lost to Meek Robertson as well too. So bring a corner, another linebacker, and some trenches on the opposite side.
Who you guys like? And I know like the thing about Witt, you can talk about all NFL. With Ridley going to the Titans, because I know you all have Adams, but does that take a team off of the list for T. Higgins, or do you think it's still possible for him to go there?
I think it's still possible. I mean, because you got to look at the age of DeAndre Hopkins, and I think his contract is what I think they can get it out until like next year or so. So I can't get wrong. You can't have too many weapons, bro. So it's just like you could put Ridley in the slot like he was in Atlanta. You can keep Hopkins on the outside. You got T on the other side as well too. So now you have addressed a huge need on the offensive side, like Tennessee, that they needed so desperately. Because like now you're bringing a new system in. You don't have Derrick Henry no more to rely on, and you're rebuilding that line at the same time. So it's a great opportunity for the Titans at least, to get those type of weapons. And as far as y'all or any team, you can't have too many. You can't have too much weapons.
Yeah, definitely agree. Especially if you can fit them underneath the the cap. So when it comes to y'all in the draft, right? I know what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But tell the people what it is that you desire to do. And if you're not able to do that, how would you like the draft to play out?
I want to get in the top three. Either with the Bears. We don't know what their situation is going to be. I mean, because they're holding Fields, they killed their value as far as with Fields. I mean, you had some teams that probably inquiring, probably were willing to give up a second at most, and now with these quarterbacks going for like 1 year deals, or you had the Mac Jones traded for a 6th round pick, you might be able to get like a fourth at most, fourth or fifth. So my thing is that you just engage with the market. You check in with all the teams from the top five. You check in with the Bears, check with the Commanders, you check in with the Patriots, or even the Cardinals. But I think that Cardinals move or like a Chargers move, I think that's the trade you do now if you know for certain that you can get in the top three and get the guy that you want. So, it's going to be interesting. I know y'all talk about y'all want to draft a quarterback, but at the same time, we don't know what any of these guys are going to do unless you're plugged in to some sort. But my thing is that you just do your due diligence and check in with each team and see what they're thinking, and because my thing is that everybody has a price. I mean, a team could say, we're taking a quarterback at 1, we're taking a quarterback at 2, but if you give them like a certain compensation, they might reconsider that. It might go the other route.
Definitely. So outside of the first round, right? What do you think? Well, to go back to Jaden, what do you think it's going to cost, and where are you looking to go? Because if we think about it, bro, I don't know what the Bears going to do. I'm so confused right now. Which way they're going to go? But let's just say they somehow trade Justin. And speaking of Justin Witt, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Can they send them west?
No, because we signed Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
If we didn't sign Gardner Minshew, I'll say yeah. I mean, because like a fourth or fifth, I'll take Justin Fields. But we signed Gardner to a 2-year, 25, gave him 12.5 a year. So my thing is that it doesn't make sense to try to bring in the Justin Fields when you got a Gardner Minshew that was a 2 players away from taking them to the playoffs. And what I'm saying, get a Fields and then try to draft somebody in the draft. So my thing is that you keep Gardner as a safety blanket. You got Aiden O'Connell that you can fall back on if something happens to Gardner during the season, and you just go all out and try to get your quarterback in the top 3.
I love it. What do you think it's going to cost?
Patriots. I say at least like 3/3, including the swap, and possibly like a second, just to sweeten the deal, because you got to think you're bidding with other teams. And I think you could add in, like for instance, if you're going to 2, the Commanders, you could do like 3/3, 2 seconds, or it depends on the player that you're going to add to it. So say for instance, like for y'all need offensive line help. If we wanted to, say for instance, give you 3 firsts and like a Cole Miller as a Pro Bowl left tackle or something like that, because you look at what the Panthers did last year, where they had those picks, but the deciding point was DJ Moore, because they needed wide receiver 1 badly to accompany Justin Fields. So I think for your top needs, for teams that want to get up in those top 3, they got to know the team that they want to trade with top needs. So for y'all, I mean, is the top need? Y'all need tackles. Y'all need DN help. Do y'all need corners? Y'all need safeties? You try to add that on if willing, if you want to part with them all along with those picks. So, I mean, my thing is with the Bears too. Since we from 3-1, man, they want historical conversation. We don't know if they want to move back. There are historical conversations like moving from 1-2 and like 2-9 or 2-13 just to get all those picks together for the next 3 years. But I say, bro, I'll be willing if you really a quarterback away, bro. You give anything just to get in that position. So I'm willing to get three firsts, 2 seconds, or 3 firsts and 3 seconds. Because like it's a year by year league. By that time next year, you can get some of those picks back if you trade somebody in your team or somebody views them as valuable.
Yeah, man, that's a lot, man. But if you got to get your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, like I think AJ that was on here earlier, he was talking about that and how you know, you look at the Chiefs, they always got holes. Like they got holes every year, but they still winning championships. They still winning. You know what I'm saying? So you get that quarterback, you know, 3 holes might just go to 1. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that quarterback does. So I mean that's I mean, it makes so much sense, man. But for me and like even Smoke, you see Trail, I was just looking at his comments. He pumped up. But it's just like, I mean, you be in our spaces, is differences of opinions. Like I just don't think that there's a big enough gap between him and Jaden to give up a whole lot of assets. But some people do. But you know, if you was at 2, like how would you feel about Caleb? Would you be willing to give everything up to go up to get him, or would you be content with Jaden Daniels?
Either one. But I think as far as the fit and who the people want, I think it's Jaden. But at the same time, that's where you establish draft boards. If you can't get your player, you got to pivot. You got to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. So my thing is that if you get up there and it doesn't work out, then you know you just pivot. But my thing is that if you're trading up, you know, as far as 13-2, you got to be sure that you're gonna get your guy at 2. And if not, if you're panicking about it, then you inquire about moving up a spot and just giving a little bit more, just so you know for sure that you're getting the quarterback that you want.
Yeah, man. You gotta get him at some point, bro. You gotta get him.
Especially
You gotta
in the AFC, man. Especially in the
definitely. I mean, AFC West. I mean, y'all have to get him. Yeah,
I gotta get a quarterback.
Y'all have to get a quarterback. There's no doubt about it, man. Y'all need to get a quarterback. But like where your team is now, you know, we always hear stuff about Adams, and you know, we might go to the Jets, they might trade him, blah 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 blah. Do you think he's content right now?
Yeah, he's content. I don't know if y'all know he's from San Bernardino, California.
Yeah.
So he was always a Raiders fan. He got a picture of him being a Raiders in a Tim Brown uniform. So you know, I think if we didn't pivot and didn't fire McDaniels, I think he would request a trade. I mean, because he fulfilled his dream. He played for the Raiders. If it's for a season or 5 seasons, he played for the Raiders. So my thing is that for those type of moves, you had to make it. You had to make a change. So with AP, they buying in to the system. They happy to play for AP and play, you know, for the Raiders now. You know, under a new system. So I think that trading Devontae, they did that stuff. You know, every chance they get when that question is asked. But now it's solidified that he's not going anywhere. But everybody has a price. Now that price, you know, makes us sit back like, hey, we get such and such with Devontae, you know, we got to look at it, but he's not going anywhere.
That's good, man. Keep that in there because you once you get that quarterback, him having Adam, hopefully, you know, y'all are able to get a quarterback outside of Jaden Daniels, and we had 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you get May, you got Bo, you got JJ, you got all them guys, man. But I can't let you get up here. I can't let you get the 2 with. I'm sorry, man.
Y'all building,
we still cool and all, man.
Y'all building, man. I see y'all signed Bobby Wagner, man. Y'all building, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can rock with Sam Howell for another year. I can get a pocket, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Wick, what's up, bro? This Smoke, bro.
What up, bro?
Hey, I was just talking to my buddy, man, as I was resetting my router. I had some connection issues, but
I'm just looking at this defense now, bro. Like just the second level and the third level. Yes, we still have holes at the cornerback position, but I'm just looking at just say a third down. And I got Bobby Wags. I don't think Bobby Wags is leaving the field. But look at what I can do with a Chin. Look what I can do with a Luvu, a Dirk Forrest, a Percy Butler. Like these guys can play pivotal roles on this team early and often. And Bobby Wags is just going to be in there. Hey, line up here, line up there. This is what's coming and stuff like that. I like this Bobby Wags signing more than anything right now because it's I've been looking for that quarterback of the defense for the longest time, basically since we lost London. And I feel like right now we got that quarterback of the defense. Luvu, go forward. Jamming, go forward. Chen, critical third down. We may send you, go forward. It's just so much more speed now with this defense. And I'm letting the offense cook in the draft. This defense, they just basically assembled in this free agency. I'm absolutely loving it right now, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, we talked about this earlier, but my thing is that I'm looking at the long term, like the future. Like Bobby Wagner, I mean, he's 35 years old, going on 36. You know, he still play at a high level, but you know what I'm saying, you're trying to lock in position so you're not being in the same position in next year when you had the same amount of cap space and you gotta make those decisions again. So I mean, it's a good signing, but it's just you got to think long term sometimes, so you don't have to address the same positions year after year.
Yeah, that's why I say, you go and address the linebacker position in the draft. It don't even got to be second round now. It could be a third, fourth round linebacker just to learn from that guy. You know what I mean? Like 1 year information could take a rookie a long way in his career. So I think Bobby Wags is that type of guy. He back with his guy DQ. And they haven't lied to us yet, man. They talked about relationships. And that's what we've been seeing so far, man. A lot of relationship building signings, and I'm not mad at it right now, man.
I love it, man. I definitely love it. I think Adam Peters is doing what he said he was going to do. Josh Harris is allowing him to do it. I think these coaches and everyone is on one accord. But let me ask you, because you kind of mentioned about like the staff that we put together with, just in general, it's still the honeymoon period, right? They are going through free agency, so I know they having conversation. I know they're having disagreements because look, there are multiple people that have done each other's job. I think we got 3 head coaches on this team, a few more that had head coaching interviews. The draft is coming up. Some players going to want this player, some is going to want this player. How do you look at having this much experience on a coaching staff? Because it can go, it can be really bad or it can be really good. But the one thing, like, if you losing, it's all going to hit the rock.
As far as Raiders, was talking Commanders.
Like in general.
I think, for any like first time head coaches, you want to have that experience. Because if you get in certain situations you haven't been in before, it's good to have some experience in your corner to help you navigate through that while you learn it. But I think in general, like you build, coaching plays a big part in success in a team. So I think as far as that, like for instance, if you have a defensive minded coach, you want to have an exceptional offensive OC and coaching in that way too for the offensive side. So my thing is that I think you just got to go out and get the best coaching possible, and then lead that up with getting the players that fit the system and buy into the system, so y'all can have success on the field.
Yeah, it's gonna be something, man. But winning. But just like you said, at the same time, and I think for Quinn, it's very humbling to bring these people around you. You know what I'm saying? It shows that not only do you want to still learn, but you're not afraid of someone knowing more than you. That was one of the things of Jay Gruden, which was his ultimate demise as a head coach. And because of the ownership, really, I mean, you just never know. You walk in there one day, he might not have a job. but he did not want to bring anyone on the defensive side that had experience that could ultimately take over that team, because that's just was the environment. But it does show how humbling he is.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example is last year with the Panthers. I mean, everybody saw the construction of that coaching staff and thought like, oh my gosh, like whoever's get the first pick is going to go into a perfect environment. You got McCall, quarterback coach, Frank Wright, Thomas Brown coming from the Rams, going to bring that McVay system in with Frank Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and then you got Avery as a DC. Like, but my thing is that it's got to be one accord from the top down, like we said earlier. You can't just have an exceptional coaching staff but a terrible front office and a below average roster. It has to start from the top down. You know, your ownership has to be bought in. GM has to be on one accord with the coaching staff, and all three of those guys, all three of those people in general. I mean, because women can be any of those positions as well too. Have to have awareness of the roster so you can provide a winning product on the field.
Who is Neville Gallimore?
D tackle from
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put that in the chat. So I mean, where y'all think T. Higgins gonna go? And I don't know if you gotta run. I know I said like 20 minutes, 20. You good? Yeah. Yeah, let's talk some NFL for the last few minutes. I don't know what's going on. I think Glenn is supposed to come in, but his video's still not on. So I don't know what's happening. But T. Higgins, man, like, what do y'all think that's gonna? Well, first of all, what do y'all think about? Bro, they are abusing his tag. You know, like he's not the franchise player. He shouldn't be getting the franchise tag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just depends on, I mean, how the roster is, bro. I mean, if you're straight on defense, you draft well on defense, and then on offense, you know, you about to sign Chase, or he's on the deal. You got Burrow straight. You know, the running back position is not as valued as before. You can place that tag on the T. Higgins or anybody like that, like a L'Jarius Sneed. So I mean, I think it's just an advantage, bro. I mean, it's just saying the teams, that if you construct your roster, to a certain extent, as far as through the draft and free agency, you can do stuff like that. So I don't have no problem with it, but I think is that, man, if he don't want to be there, man, you just gotta. I do agree, Deuce. Like, it's kind of like a hostage situation too, because like he got tagged, he can't really go nowhere. You know.
I know he's sick.
Yeah.
Like they both of them can't be looking for deals next year. No,
I'm saying.
No way, bro. Like, I mean, you gonna pay how much you gonna pay Jamar? Gonna be based off what Justin get.
He looking for the highest paid amount, so he looking probably for like 30 a year.
That's what I'm saying. And Justin turned down 30 at the beginning of the year. So I don't know what that means. Like he only played 6 games, still got 1,000 yards. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be,
what it do?
What it do, y'all? What's good?
Shut up, man. Go ahead, Smoke. My bad.
Nah. I just, like you say, man, it's hard for them to pay both of them, especially year. So what, next year you're gonna franchise Chase? And now it's like, what is that doing to the psyche of these players and stuff like that, man? So I think they should just go ahead and move on from Higgins, man. Like, get what you can for him, move on from him, ink up Chase right now. Another one is a DJ Reader, like on that D line. Like, what are they doing right there? They lose him. Hey, man, I got an island for you for T. Higgins and possibly a 5th or something like that. But I'm like, man, so I'm looking at DJ Reader, seeing where he go. And then I would say it's the GM. Must be island out there, man. There's something else to Higgins in this roster, man.
Man, I don't know, man. Like, let me see. Jonathan, which I think might be your first time comment, Jonathan. I definitely appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, man, that's where Smoke was a couple days ago. Trade down, but nah, man. Like, see, you on Witt's side. See, that's what Witt want us to do. Whit want us to trade down. We ain't trade down, man.
Nah, we getting that quarterback. I don't know what y'all talking about.
All right.
What's up, Glenn, man? How you
What's
feeling right
good,
now,
man?
man?
Hey, Bobby Wags, though. Listen, Bobby Wagner. It might be a season too late for some of us fans who was crying for him when he was available. But let me tell you something, bro. We just fixed our linebacking core. Period. Who was it? Was it you, dude? Said 2 days ago our linebacking core was in shambles, and now today it's fixed. Jamin and Love You or Luvu or however you say his
He
name,
love you is crazy.
they can
Love you is
run
crazy.
wild, bro. I'm gonna be saying I love you every time he get a sack, bro. Look, they can run up and down the line all day, free, not have to worry. Bobby can control the flow in the middle, bro. I'm excited. Like I don't even know how to act. We making moves I'm not used to seeing.
Yeah, we don't know what this looks like.
This is what winning looks like. I'm all for it. Sign me up for another.
Yeah, Timothy. We was talking about the Mariota sign, but I don't put too much into it, man. He's backup quarterback. We was in the market for a few of them. We weren't gonna overpay. I think Jacoby wanted to go play ball. I think he's gonna get an opportunity to do that. I still think they're gonna draft a quarterback, but the Mariota thing was the Mariota thing. Look at him. So in our fan base, it's two different types of trade backs, right? We have the old smoke trade back where it's trade down and build, blah blah blah. We got that one. We got the trade down, get a left tackle to build with Sam, blah, blah, blah. We got the trade down and maybe Penix is down there or whatever. Then we got like me, right? And some others, not just me, but some others that'll trade to 3. That's it, like 3. But the only way like I would do that is if I know that they're comfortable with all 3 quarterbacks. Because if the Patriots want to move up for a guy, whoever it is, if it's Daniels, if it's May, then I'm comfortable and I'm okay with the other guy. But I mean, we will never know that because whoever they pick is going to be the person that they want. Like we already know that. But that's as far as I'm going back, man. I'm not going back. I'm not going back no further than that.
I mean, hey, that's fine. And you just got to know that when you're trading up. I mean, if you can't get the 2, but you open the moving like a 3 or 4, okay, cool. Let me talk to Arizona so I can get the ball fit and get a playing field. Because maybe the Bears are thinking the same thing. Maybe they don't want to move from 1. Maybe I want to still be in the top 5. Y'all think the same thing, or the Patriots thinking the same thing. Whatever. So it's just a matter of conversation, having a conversation, and just mapping what you want to do and how you want to go about it. So.
Yeah, man. But if y'all come up to 4, y'all ain't gonna have nothing else to give up.
Why you say that?
Because look, if you come up to 4 from where y'all at? 12?
13.
13?
Y'all have to give up the farm.
You got to give up at least 2 firsts, a couple seconds, maybe.
That's a big jump, man.
Then when you get up here from 4 to 3 or 4 to 1, nah. Look, man. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do with it. But the draft surprises us every year, though. Like, who thought Witherspoon was gonna go 6 last year?
I ain't thought Witherspoon was gonna fly to Seattle. I thought that was like Carter territory,
Yeah.
or if Ant Richardson was available, I thought that was Ant Richardson territory at 5.
That's what I'm saying. It was Witherspoon. None of us thought he was going to sit. I mean, Bijan came off, Gibbs came off, so Jalen Carter dropped all the way down. What, the 9, 10? 9, 10?
Yeah. You got to think too, though. That's the reason why Detroit moved off that 6th pick, because they wanted Witherspoon. So Witherspoon with the 5, they moved back. With who was that 12? Arizona, or was it?
Remember.
It was somebody. Yeah, I think so, because
they had 2 picks. The Lions had 2 picks.
They took Paris Johnson. So I think they moved. Yeah, because the Texans had the 12th pick. They went from 12 to 3. to get Will Anderson with 2 and 3. So they had the 12, Arizona had the 12th pick, and they just traded back up to the 6th pick after the Lions wanted to move back out and took Paris Johnson because they thought we was going to take him, which he was high on that board anyway, so we probably was going to take him if he was there at 7. So they took him at 6, and that's how we landed with Tyree. So it's just a matter of these teams like in front of you what they do, man, and it affects your board.
I'm excited, man. Cowboys still ain't signed no free agents.
They losing people. Hey, more power to them. More power to them. Down there.
They losing people, but they build through their team through the draft, and they done that at a high level too. So
yeah, that's true.
So I mean, I do agree they needed to make some moves though, but they probably ain't gonna make as much moves as teams that starting from the bottom.
Yeah, they putting a lot of pressure on the draft. They putting a lot. If they don't sign any free agents, try to fill any of these holes from these players that they're losing, they're gonna have a lot of pressure in the draft, man.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pressure in the draft. So, like, what do you think about? I'm not too keen on Mike. Oh, hold on. What did the Chargers do to get under the cap? Because they cut Mike Williams, they restructured Khalil.
So yesterday they released like 2 reserve contracts. I guess like it was like a lineman, old lineman, and like a DB. So that saved them like $1.59 million. So with Mike Williams,
that was 20, right?
Yeah, and Mike Williams release saved them $20 million. So that's what got them under the cap.
Oh, so that did get them under the cap. All
and
right.
Then also they restructured Khalil Mack deal. So that's what those 3 things kept most players doing.
You think they move off of Keenan?
No.
Okay. That's what I got my eye.
I think that was the last person they'll move off of if they had to. They really had to. But no.
Yeah, man. See, look at Glenn. See, that's what we've been doing all week, yeah. Looking up, looking down, looking around, looking for moves.
I'm watching. Look, I see
ESPN.
Justin Simmons. I'm looking at Cam Curl, all these different people that's available and stuff still. Tyron Smith.
It's a lot of
I wouldn't be mad at that. A lot.
It's a lot
we still have some money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of talent.
We still have some money too.
But I think though, I don't know if y'all saw Josina Anderson tweet, but they said that Patriots are going to prioritize wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now, so they might go Marvin Harrison at 3.
Yeah. Especially if they don't get Higgins.
They're gonna roll with Zappy and our boy.
Yeah, Brissett. Or the Cardinals.
They may get a quarterback in the 2nd round. That's why they got Brissett.
Cardinals released DJ Humphries. Okay, that's another tackle position open. But yeah, I mean, I think they're on the watch for. They're on the watch for Marvin Harrison at 3.
I take that. Let's look into DJ Humphries. It's a left tackle.
You said the Cardinals?
Yeah, they really.
Who drafted him? Did Cliff draft him?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me look and see. I got my iPad right here.
Are they releasing him to get underneath the cap?
Nah, they just released him because he was due $22 million.
We can bring him in on a 1-year prove it.
2015. What was Cliff at in 2015? He was a first round pick.
With who?
He got drafted by the Cardinals in 2015. But
was
I'm trying to
there?
find out if.
Well, he's been there all that time, so he played under Cliff. So
he played under Cliff. That might be one right there. Relationships. What's his measurable? 6'5", 307.
Yeah, Harrison Smith got to be at least 35. Yeah, that seems like that dude been in the league forever.
Yeah.
Structure too. You think him restructuring could give JJ that 31, 32 million he may be looking for?
Who? Oh yeah, probably.
Because I didn't believe that report yesterday that came out was like somebody said it was like barbershop talk where the Bengals was going to trade T. Higgins and 2 first-round picks for JJ. But I'm like, they still got to pay Chase. Then you got to pay JJ. So I just didn't believe it, even with the restructure of a Joe Burrow contract they say he would do. So I didn't believe that. Well, I think JJ going to stay right there, man. They're going to rock with Sam. They're going to find a quarterback. You know what I mean? It could be one at 11, one in the second round, whatever it is. I could see a JJ in Minnesota. Like, if they stay at 11, I think they'll take a JJ at 11.
So they say he tore his ACL late last year.
Oh, okay. So
they said that dude that been breaking the news before the insiders. They said the Vikings called the Cardinals about the 4th pick, but he can't confirm the Giants called about their pick though.
Sweet. K Cruz, what's up, man? This may be your first time commenting. Definitely appreciate you coming through. Continue to come through, man. Appreciate your support for sure. Screw JJ. Justin Simmons and Mike Williams. Bro, if we get Justin Simmons, yeah, like
boy.
Hey.
I'm already gonna be talking smack because of Chin, and now we signed Bobby Wags. Don't let us get Justin Simmons.
That safety room. That safety room gonna be. You got it. If you add a Justin Simmons to a Chin, a Forrest, a Butler, a Quan, which is a tween, in the nickel though. I think Quan gonna be in the nickel this year. But yeah, man, like I see nothing but speed right now. I see nothing but speed. Smoker T, what's up, Duran? That's my guy right there. That's probably the funniest dude on the app. I'm the only one that laugh at his jokes though. I'm the only one that laugh.
What's up, Scouts? Yep, Scouts is on it. Torn his ACL in January this year. Appreciate that, Scouts.
Yeah, that's late too. So
Scouts gonna be with us next week. Scouts is with the Red Zone in the UK at 5:30 in the morning. We got a pod during the season at 5:30 in the morning. Whit, you want to join one day?
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, I catch the playback.
Honesty.
5:30 in the morning. You say during the season?
Yeah, we ran it this past season a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
It was tough too, boy. Because they over in the UK. So it's Red Zone in the UK. So I got.
So would it be like? What they like 6 hours ahead of us or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Bengals were going to trade Teeth for Washington. Where you hear that at, Jonathan?
Hey, they could take 36 or 40s. I'll give it to them gladly.
What's up, Cuzzo? Chilling, man. Yeah, Miss Janet, we loving all the signings. What's up, fam? Yeah, man. So it's been good, man. We about to get out of here in a little bit. Whit, we definitely appreciate you coming through, man.
All right.
For sure. You ever did podcast before, Whit?
Nah. I just be guest host. Just be guest.
Okay.
We can tell because your phone ain't sideways. You're the only one that don't fit the screen right now.
Yeah, I can
he had it early.
I'm surprised Deuce ain't say nothing. That's his pet peeve right now.
We had it. He was good early. I did say something earlier. Now, he just started moving. He literally just started moving. It was going to be what we thought it was last year.
Updates. Looking for them updates.
Kim said she laughed at Deron's jokes.
Oh, okay.
Smiling.
All right.
What's up, man? Appreciate you stopping through for sure. Whit is going to help Forbes. I hope he can help Forbes. Wait, Whit said 5:30. You say? Deron crazy. I don't know, Whit, man. You might be pretty good at podcasting, man.
We'll see.
No, I like
to get a shot.
Do a damn good job, bro. Like, you know what I mean, keeping it up to date every day, free agency, even your little spaces and stuff, man.
Them Night Jones be hitting.
Yeah, man. I everything you do with, bro. And you know what I mean? You not just you're a Raiders fan, but you like talking ball, total NFL. And I like that.
Yeah.
Because we got it. We got an NFC staff. Been looking for an AFC one for a minute now, but I'll just drop that right there.
Let it ponder, Whit.
Yeah, let it pond a little bit.
Let that marinate a little bit.
Yeah, man, we definitely appreciate everyone for coming through today, man. We're gonna be right back here tomorrow, but tomorrow they're going at 6:30. Enters the Lab is going to be is going to be running tomorrow. So you're going to get Lady E, you're going to get Henry, you're going to get DT. We got a ton of guests tomorrow. Let me see. Man, we got Snuggins, we got Texans Girl, we got K-Mac. Let me see who else they got tomorrow. I might got to stop through tomorrow, man.
I'll be through tomorrow.
I might got to stop through with them tomorrow, man. They're gonna be lit. Henry gonna have 100 questions.
101.
J Mick coming through. So yeah, we're gonna have a ball tomorrow, man. It's gonna be a good one, 6:30. But yeah, man. Shout out to Whit, man. Spaces. Go ahead and put your Twitter tag on there, Whit.
You can find me at Whitville, WHITVILLE. All social media platforms, but run afternoon, morning spaces every day. Do a night space too, starting at 9 o'clock, between 9 and 9:30. So you can catch me there at Whitville again. So see y'all there, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, man. Y'all invest in y'all future, man. Start signing these retirement home players, man. That's the future, man. You know what I'm saying? But y'all doing good, man.
We solid. We building a foundation, brother. So can't build a house without a foundation. So
right.
Go ahead. What you got, man?
Man, I ain't got nothing, man. Just keep grinding. Proud of you, bro. You're doing some really good work, and you're getting everybody involved. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we got everybody involved. So keep making these moves, man. Trust the process. Go Batman. That's all I got. I'll see y'all in the morning.
What you got, Smoke?
Hey, man, I just appreciate the opportunity again, man. Like I told you, when you invited me into the media team, I see the vision. I love the vision. And, hey, man, I'm right here with you every Wednesday. Every day that you that you got a space open or YouTube open, I'm trying to chime in when I can. Stuff like that. So keep doing what you do, brother. I really appreciate you, man. This DC local media, man, is about to do something special, and I can feel it. So appreciate you, brother.
Definitely appreciate it. We appreciate all of you for watching, giving us your time. We know your time is very valuable. We definitely appreciate you for spending it with us. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.